Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we barely remember or don't remember. We haven't seen it in a long time. Watch that movie while eating pizzas and salads and come back after that experience of watching the movie and reflect on what we got right and wrong about the movie, our life, the world at large. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie, this episode, a very special episode. This month is Respect Listener Opinions Month, which means this movie was nominated and then voted upon and won that vote by our listeners, which we have chosen to respect this month. The movie is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Wow, which was
Oh.
really came up from behind.
Yeah,
Because for a long time it was going to be Clueless, which I thought would have been a hilarious counterpoint to doing Clue last year,
Whoa.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
But at the last moment, it was a clear winner.
Yeah, if people like the horse race, Clue early on jumped to the lead after a very early start by
Wait,
Lord
can
of the
you
Rings.
can you summarize
Rings.
this as the announcer for a horse race?
Is he like a auctioneer?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Oh, and we've got Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring on first. Oh, but here comes Clueless way out in front, followed quickly by Wayne's World and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a dead heat between Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Wayne's World, and Clueless, but Clueless is in the lead. Clueless is in the lead. Here comes the final lap. Here we go. Oh, and a stunning shot. Who Framed Roger Rabbit jumps to the lead for a photo finish.
Oh, God, I spent my whole friggin' mortgage on Wayne's World.
Oh, Rope has broken a leg and is being put down off stage. What? Rope got like no votes.
Yeah. Well,
I like rope.
Or maybe Punch Up the Jam. Something got like 0 even though it got nominated.
I like rope.
I've never seen it.
None of our listeners do.
I just took a picture of the screen, but I can just do a screenshot instead.
For the listeners, we are using many different technological tools at once to try to recreate the experience of sitting around a table in other Dan's basement. And I think we're doing okay.
I think we're doing great.
Yeah.
Behind
It
the
only
scenes,
took 1 hour to set up.
it only took 1 hour to set up. Behind the scenes, Dan moment, I was more thrown than I deserved to be by not watching us go around in the gallery view in the order I expected. Like we're not sitting at the table in the grid.
Can you
Which
drag and drop the videos?
I don't think we
I
can.
don't know.
I don't think we can change that. It's too late now.
This podcast is about Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
It's this episode.
Remember? Oh yeah, just this episode.
That'd be a very different podcast.
Oh my god.
Deep dive.
Like a whole series. Okay, so Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I don't remember the year, but I was old enough to be cynical.
You were
I
what?
put a bet of 1989. Based on me being in 9th grade, that seems
the most cynical of grades.
right-ish.
That's
I
a
think
pretty
it
cynical
is.
grade.
Mm-hmm.
And what I remember is it was my first awareness of the hypersexualization of a character in
Yes.
It's got that.
is it Rhonda Rabbit? What's her name?
No.
Yes. No. Is that a
Based on
bet?
Veronica
Yeah. Write
Lake.
it down.
Okay,
Rhonda
Rhonda
Ra- I mean,
Rabbit.
Rhonda Rabbit.
Rhonda Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being so hypersexualized for
Yeah.
no reason.
Well,
And that made me grumpy, and all the hype made me grumpy. And I remember
Sure.
seeing it in theaters with my family and just like full arms crossed across the chest, just hating it.
Yeah.
But maybe it's better than I remember.
I loved this movie
No?
as a kid.
Really?
I also loved it, and I saw this in theaters.
Oh, braggy.
As a small child, and I remember being absolutely terrified. Maybe the scaredest I have ever been in a movie theater.
Doom.
Well, spoiler alert: Christopher Lloyd's eyeballs turn into animated daggers.
Oh yeah,
and
Doom
shoot out.
is fucking
Yeah.
terrifying.
I mean, as soon as you said that you were terrified, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I also knew. Yeah.
I got up, turned around, and put my head into my movie theater seat
Oh no.
because I
seen your son
couldn't
do that.
handle. What's that?
I've seen your son do that.
I was just
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say that. Yeah,
He
I was
gets
gonna
real
say like,
high
oh,
and then
there's a
he'd
genetic.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a genetic memory
Yeah.
there because I have definitely seen your son make that same move.
Yeah, I was terrified, but I loved it. It was like a cartoon, but like dirty.
It's a noir film with cartoons.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, Molly's shaking her head. Dirty. Yes, it is sexually dirty. And Jessica Rabbit is a real sex pot, and maybe that's the point. But also, like, it's like a noir. It's like gritty. It's like a gritty cartoon, like gritty for a children's movie.
It's bananas. This is gonna be one of those movies where, it's sort of like the Austin Powers discussion, where it's like in the process of satirizing something, it is also doing that thing. And it's like whether it succeeds on walking that line or not is going to be, I guess, like your mileage may vary sort of situation. Because like Jessica Rabbit is absolutely hypersexualized because that is her entire purpose in terms of a cartoon character, right? Like as a toon, she is just like supposed to be like the sexy femme fatale of a noir story, and she's like the most absurd caricature of that possible. But at the same time, like it's still like this weird hypersexualized cartoon.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a lot of people are still quite aroused.
Okay.
Ew. Yeah, I felt like every single preview had that line that I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way.
Which is a pretty good line, you got to admit.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's good. Wow, I didn't even think about it. But yeah, that's like, does it play on themes then of like we're locked into what we created? Is that a commentary on like this is the world the patriarchy has created, and Jessica Rabbit can't present herself in a different way because she's controlled by animators?
Whoa. Are we high right now?
Bro. I'm excited that's a possibility.
I mean, yes, but I don't know if they thought about that at the time. But write your grad paper.
Yeah.
All I remember about this movie is that my mind was blown that like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are in the same movie.
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Oh, is that true?
This is like
all of the things.
Yeah, this is a cross studio like legal nightmare extravaganza.
Wow.
Well, who made it though?
I think
It was Warner Brothers.
I think Warner Brothers technically produced the movie, and then they got like a
Molly's bet. Warner's Brothers. Let's keep it spicy.
Warner's Brothers.
The Warner's.
I mean,
brothers.
it is spicy that you made up a studio.
But
the brothers Warner.
Disney Plus owns it now because that's how I'm going to watch it.
Oh, interesting.
I was going to say it'd be so easy now because Disney owns everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just throw in some Winnie the Pooh characters. No
but
problem.
they don't know. Do they own the WB? The WB?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's Warner Media.
Oh,
because AT&T bought
Oh,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not Warner's Media?
Warner's Media.
Okay.
Warner's Media.
All right. Sometimes I add an S.
That's fine. I'm pretty sure, Molly, you can confirm this when you inevitably hate this movie and start reading Wikipedia, but I'm pretty sure that part of the agreement was that Bugs and Mickey have the same amount of screen time.
I believe it.
I think that was actually part of the agreement.
Molly, you said 89 for this. I wanted to say 91. So now I'm trying to think what age would I be that scared? 9 seems a little old to be that scared, but I'm going to go with my gut and say 91.
Fair. That would put me in 11th grade range, which
Also
is
cynical.
super cynical. So that works.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I'll
say
90.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
You can both say 90.
Too late.
No, that's
I took it.
stupid. I'm going to say 88.
Wow.
Wow.
Great.
Beth, did you see it in a theater or what was your...
No. Well,
You
if it
were
came out
maybe
in
not born?
89, I was born that year. So
So you definitely watched it opening night.
not-
I mean, you were
maybe my parents went to go see it.
Maybe
Well,
you
my
saw
mom
it in
was pregnant.
utero.
You were at Grauman's
Yeah,
Chinese
maybe.
Theater, and
Yeah.
is that even the right theater? Did I say
Um,
that right? Who cares?
Who's the guy that's in it? It's like a guy in a.
Oh yeah,
I almost said jetpack, but that's not what
like
I
a
meant.
Bob.
Yep.
Bob
Yeah,
Pack-
jacket.
Bob Hoskins.
Fucking
Bob Hoskins.
The
Bob
trench coat?
Hoskins.
There you go.
He was in another thing that I liked him in when I was a kid.
Sure, the
Um,
Mario Brothers movie.
Is he like friends with Bugs Bunny? Like, is Bugs Bunny his partner in crime?
What?
It's Roger
Yeah,
Rabbit.
IRL?
It's Roger Rabbit.
In real life, they're roommates. In real life, Bob Hoskins and Bugs Bunny were roommates for like 10 years
Yeah.
when they were just starting out.
Got it.
Right. It's like Meryl Streep and Sigourney Weaver.
Is that true?
Really?
Yeah, they went to school together. They were like best buds. They
Oh.
might have been roommates, yeah.
That's
Wait, maybe we
weird.
talked about this.
Aw.
We might have talked about
What a fun duo.
I think it's great. What did I
Okay,
just watch something
But
with the
here's
weave
my
in it?
question: what is he being framed for?
Oh, murder.
Oh, murder.
Yeah.
Murder of who?
Jessica Rabbit, right?
No.
She's femme fatale.
It's
she's maybe having an affair.
yeah, and she also is maybe accused of murder.
Oh.
Like she's a prime suspect.
Roger Rabbit is framed. Bob Hoskins, his friend from college, needs to help him out to get out of murder.
Wait, there are two cops?
Private
Let her finish.
Or a friend. I'm sorry.
Then there's a whole. They go to Toontown or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think at one point one of them says, "Don't worry about it, Jack. It's Toontown"?
God, I hope so.
Yes.
God, I hope so.
That's bold bet. They say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I saw this as a kid and have not seen it since, and I don't remember anything about it.
Awesome.
Except for Christopher
Lloyd.
What's his name? Lloyd is very scary in the movie, and he's the bad guy. He's actually a tune in a man's body.
Spoiler alert.
Oh.
It's erased at the end somehow. Like all the ink gets into a vat of ink.
Yeah.
They got a thing that kills tunes. It's like
the dip.
Acid. The dip. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There's Molly. There's a scene you're gonna hate a lot.
Ooh, yeah, you are.
Where they take some adorable tune shoes and straight up murder them.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Why?
Just strap in for that.
Yeah. Because Doom is like a tune exterminator.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's got little weasel buddies.
Yeah.
Exterminator.
Very good, Molly.
What okay, thank you. I remember one scene from this movie and one scene only, because actually when I think about it too hard, I start to think of the Dick Tracy movie with Annette Bening and
Bernie
Sanders.
Warren.
Yeah.
Bernie
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty and Madonna.
So, and I just picture a yellow PT Cruiser, and I know that is not this movie. Anyway, the one scene that I can remember very clearly is they get Roger Rabbit to reveal where he's hiding by doing the first part of shave and a haircut.
Yeah.
And they do it over and over again, and he just can't help but come out for the 2 pence.
Yeah, and he explodes out of the walls in this diner.
Yeah.
Ooh,
pretty
I'm
fun.
excited for a diner scene.
Oh, I'm excited to talk about all the green screen direction that probably happened. I assume George Lucas directed this one.
Well, I mean, they got hired out. He outsourced his page to help them out.
Yeah. This is somewhere between Howard the Duck and American Graffiti.
I'm pretty sure this is the Zemeckis. I think this is Zemeckis. Dan's bet, Zemeckis.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. But, they were probably friends, right?
I'm wondering, which tunes are going to show up.
Oh,
hey,
that's fun.
By the way, this is the second movie that we've watched with some Looney Tunes action.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Space Jam?
The third movie.
What?
What's the other one?
Popped up in Gremlins
has
too.
Looney Tunes in it.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
Who knew that Looney Tunes would be a Totes Looney Tunes recall? More like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Definitely more like that.
Post.
I can't go because we're recording a Zoom call, so you can see my face. All of a sudden, I'll be like,
My favorite part was when the tune came to the
Tunes recall, am I right?
Very good joke, everyone else says.
This is Dan.
We enjoy each other's company.
And it's hours of laughter.
Yeah. Beth just recuts the entire episode, so we're just flattering her the whole time. Wow, Beth, you are so
I love your jokes, Beth.
Oh my God, wasn't it funny when Beth said...
There you go. Something for the editing bay.
Yay.
So Who Framed Roger Rabbit is what we're talking about.
Yes.
I also remember...
What do you guys think framed Roger Rabbit real quick?
Oh, I guess Christopher Lloyd? I don't really remember the plot. I just remember some cool things that I wish I had. One, that hole you could put anywhere.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
And there's like a suave sword.
Yep.
A suave sword?
It's like a lounge singer sword that he pulls out, thinks he's going to fight someone with, and it just starts crooning.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just Elvis.
I thought it was Sinatra.
Okay, so an Elvis sword?
Are you betting
I'm
Elvis?
saying Elvis.
I'm saying Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm saying sounds not fun.
Oh.
Molly's bet. Not going to like that sword.
Oh, wow.
What's wrong with that sword?
I hate it already. I hate everything about this movie.
Oh, my God. You're not even giving the weird jokes a chance.
Hey, teenage Molly. Cool it.
Cool it.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry you were so mad about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in college. I don't have time for movies that have cartoons in them.
I hope I wasn't in college
I
by then.
11th grade.
Oh, right. Oh, if only
Yeah, I bet I had to go
Tony
to a theater with
Motorcycle
my
would
parents.
ask me out.
Tony Motorcycle. I was going to say something. Bechdel-Wallace test is the bet we often do on this show.
Yes.
I can think of Jessica Rabbit. I can think of no one else.
I'm guessing Dan's bet.
There has to be other women cartoons,
There's
right?
so many cartoons in this, right?
Betty Boop?
Yes. Betty Boop's in it.
Oh.
Maybe.
But I don't know if she talks to another lady.
Molly's bet, first of all, is that the ratio of male to female characters is going to be, I'm going to say 5-1.
I would
Pretty
do.
That seems right.
Yeah, including the cartoons.
I don't want to count all this.
Yeah. Well, we'll just get a sense.
Okay.
And then secondary bet, I don't think it's going to pass. Maybe it will. Okay. You know what? I'll be spicy. I think it's going to pass the Bechdel-Wallace test by the hair of its chins. Nope.
Yep. Chinny chin chin.
Yeah, by the hair of its chin.
Yep.
Three
By
Little
the hair
Pigs
of
might
its
be in this
chin,
movie
chin,
too, honestly.
Yep.
So.
It might be.
And if they're ladies, we're really onto something.
The pigs?
Yeah, that would be great. Why can't they be girls?
I don't know.
Then they get consumed. I guess the one defeats the wolf.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the woman.
Eddie is the human detective, by the way. I think Eddie has like a lady friend.
Oh, does he got like a wife?
I don't know if she's his wife. It's sort of like
somebody's like, my wife doesn't approve of that.
I think it's more.
Jessica Rabbit's too sexy for my wife.
I think it's more.
That's really good, Bob.
Yeah, I think it's more like, oh, Eddie, when are we gonna get married? And she's I'm too broken. I'm a broken detective, and I can't love or something.
That sounds right. She's like a diner gal.
Yeah, I think
she works at the diner.
She might work the diner actually.
Congrats, bet she works at the diner.
Nice. So there's a chance she talks to somebody. I don't know. She could either talk to Jessica Rabbit, or Rhonda Rabbit, or Betty Boop, or somebody else.
I remember being, God, I think this movie might have been a real. I don't want to say sexual awakening because I don't want to hear the groans, but something like that. Like this is like an early movie, like seeing like sexual actors, like Jessica Rabbit is having an affair, and there's like. Taking pictures. Someone's taking pictures through the window. Like, she's always got like saxophone music, the sexiest instrument, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was somewhere between 6 and 9.
Sure.
And this is what we're teaching little boys. I probably didn't get the satire if it exists in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, that is how we know that it is a noir, though. Is the sexy saxophones,
sexy
or trumpet? We'll see.
Or trumpet.
Sexy trumpet.
There's a wind instrument or a horn instrument. What are the
more like horny instruments,
brass.
Right?
Yes, Molly.
You are right.
You are right.
Horny sax.
Horny section.
Usually, I hope they just float on by.
No, we gotta drill them into the ground.
Okay, I saw this movie. I really liked this movie as a kid, so I've seen it a bunch. So I probably remember most of it. So I'm very curious if there's anything else you guys want to firmly bet on.
I bet there's a talking car. Like they drive around a car that has a face.
Great bet.
Yeah.
Kind of like the grill is the mouth.
Yeah,
it rears up. Yeah, that seems right.
The reveal into Toontown is fun. Like at the end, they bash down a wall in a warehouse, and then it's like fully Toonland.
Yeah.
Fun.
Because Lloyd's gonna kill them all. God, this movie's dark.
Dark.
He's like going full genocide.
Yeah, it's also
he definitely gets flattened, right?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't he get steamrolled?
Yes.
that seems right. That's a good bet.
I think that's what happens. I think that they're like, oh no, he's a bad guy, and then he gets steamrolled, and then they're like, he's dead because he's a human.
Right.
But then he like reinflates like a cartoon does, and that's how they find out he's actually a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool, Beth.
Solid bet.
If it's not what it is, it should be.
You know, they should have called me. I was probably in utero, but I had these ideas for a long time.
Even then. This I think you'll all enjoy the fact that this movie is like part of the like evil dudes like toon genocide is firmly based in capitalism.
Oh, he's got the condos or shopping mall.
It's something I don't remember, but it's definitely like an homage to Chinatown, where it's like he's trying to take control of like certain elements of LA to like for progress or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. God, I don't know how to feel about this movie. I'm like excited for it because I liked it a lot as a kid, and there's a lot of things that sound great, and I feel like it's for sure going to disappoint me.
I don't know. Maybe you'll find it charming.
I think it's going to be similar to how I felt about Space Jam, where I was like, Space Jam was great. It's so great. And then we watched it and I was like, oh, that was just so boring. And like, wow, they are cartoons.
This one has an actual story, though, to be fair.
Yeah. How early in putting cartoons into actual movies was this? Like, when I saw it, it felt revolutionary, but I was like a small child.
I mean, Mary Poppins came out way before this movie.
Yeah.
But this is like
this was supposed to be a super big deal.
It was a huge deal because it was like throughout the movie, and they had to like kind of dynamically shade the tunes to make it seem like they were present in these very specific real life locations. Whereas Mary Poppins, they were
right, because the trench coat guy throttles Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
that's what they kept showing is him throttling the air.
Right. And then, like Eddie especially like interacts with the tunes pretty heavily. Yeah. So it's just kind of impressive that it's like, oh shit. Did he like screw up and he's got a bad beat now? I think he might be a PI. I don't even know if he's a
PI?
Is he days away from retirement?
I hope so. God, I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I also really remember Roger Rabbit's line of please.
I'm gonna hate Roger Rabbit. Molly's bet. I'm gonna hate Roger Rabbit. He's gonna be like I
think he's
uncharming Ferris Bueller to me.
I think he's supposed to be kind of hateable.
Yeah, he's supposed to be incredibly manic and annoying because he's a cartoon character.
Yeah, I think he's like maybe even like we talked about how Bugs Bunny was a psycho.
Yeah.
Jaquette's bet Roger Rabbit is kind of like, yeah, Bugs Bunny is a psycho. Here's a different rabbit that's like more obviously a psycho, but he's doing similar things to Bugs. I want to see if that pans out.
I mean, a big part of the movie is the dynamic between, like, again, sort of like the contrast between like Eddie, who's this very like stereotypical noir character, being partnered up with like this insane, like Looney Tunes character, and they have to like have this very noir-esque adventure together, even though his partner is like, this like hyperactive rabbit that makes weird noises all the time.
Yeah. That's his partner.
Well, like they're teaming up because they got to solve the case.
Yeah.
Who did frame Roger Rabbit, you see, is the case.
I don't know. That's the case.
Yeah.
Love a movie with punctuation in the title.
Sure.
Oh, Molly's bet animated opening.
Great.
Bold.
Yeah.
Very bold.
Love that.
Molly, what should we rate this in?
Steamrolled tunes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I have no questions about that.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Is it tunes like TOONS or TUNES?
Oh, TOONS, like the new name of this podcast.
Yeah. Right. Is it tunes? Is it tunes in human suits or just regular tunes?
I feel like it's just regular tunes.
Okay.
Because that encompasses the whole.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. No,
very good.
You. Thanks for the clarification. It's good.
Dan, what do you think?
Okay, I'm definitely worried that this movie is going to be terrible and not hold up at all. But I'm going to be bold and say 5 tunes because I
Wow.
loved it when I was a kid, and also my job is basically to be counter Molly whenever she hates something. So I'm just trying to lean into that early on this episode.
Hmm.
5 tunes.
Fair.
Nice.
Beth.
Yes. I'm not gonna like it. It's like no way. But I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be. I guess I'm not gonna be bored by it. So I'm gonna say 2. 2 tunes.
I'm gonna say 4. I think I'll still like it a lot, but some of the shine will have worn off, and I'll see the turd underneath. That's the right. You can't
Sure.
shine a turd. What's that saying?
Yeah. So
Polish a
you're just
turd.
taking that into a
Yeah.
whole nother level.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
saying like,
But I guess I mostly can.
so what you're saying like, you
Yeah.
enjoyed the turn of the child, but now it's been out in the rain and the sun for years, and now you're going to come back to it and be like, oh, this is
Okay.
just a turd.
Yeah, just a little of the shine is worn.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready
Molly?
to do mine. First of all, I want to say thank you, listeners. I do respect your opinion, not only this
Oh,
month,
right.
but every month.
Oh, very good
And
point. Thank you.
I
listeners.
don't want to like totally disparage your selection for us unless you picked it to torture us, in which case I think we're doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, I mean, considering you
I'm
haven't
gonna give
even
it a-
watched the movie.
I know, and I'm already like mad about it. I am going to be loyal to my teenage self and give it a 1.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'm
Oh.
going to hope. Oh, this is my Molly's bet. Dan and I will trade
Ooh,
ratings
wow.
by the end.
Ooh.
Wait, which day?
Wouldn't that be
Me?
fun?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, Dan. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So Dan's
I
going to
guess-
go down to a 1 and you're going to go to a 5?
Yes.
Wow. God.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think it's really going to happen, but it's optimistic and
I
it
mean,
makes me feel
who
less
knows? I mean, there's
grouchy.
a chance that like I'll suddenly be flooded with memories of like watching this like 2 hours before my parents announced their divorce, and it's just like this pure
No.
cut trauma. And you'll be so happy, Molly. You'll have to give it a 5.
Yeah. You just living for the drama. The divorce drama. Ooh, I love it. That's what you'll be saying.
Yeah, stick it right into my veins.
Long-time
This is me,
listeners,
Molly Chase.
new listeners, I don't actually delight in the divorce of my co-host parents. But it's a bit now, and we just have to go with it.
Yeah, check out our past episodes at totesrecall.com.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 43 minutes of some very acceptable movie.
Oh.
With lots of, well, animation for sure.
Yes,
Some
certainly.
violence, weird sex, and I don't know. There was some interesting stuff. Anyway, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
Sure are.
Yay.
Right at the top, there was no actual sex in this movie. We should probably be clear about that.
There was no what?
There was no actual sex in this movie.
No.
Oh,
No one
well,
or
it was
no-
implied.
No creature had sex with each other in the movie
That we saw.
that we saw.
We'll get to it. Molly's slight editorializing was almost a 60-second summary, but we'll still do beloved segment.
Oh, for sure.
6XM. I'll
do
do
it.
it. Oh,
Oh.
You go ahead.
okay.
Are
Great.
you ready?
Oh, yeah. Give me that clock.
Okay. Ready, go.
It's the 40s, I think. And we got no. I know how it starts. We got
Jesus Christ.
Roger Rabbit. We see that he is a cartoon, and then reveal he's an actor in a cartoon. Cartoons are actors2.com. Then there's Bob Hoskins, I think. He's meeting with the cartoon exec. Cartoon exec's like, go spy on Roger Rabbit. I can't remember why.
30
He
seconds.
goes, and Jessica Rabbit, who's very sexy, is playing patty cake with Mr. Acme, who is a goof. Roger Rabbit gets crazy. Mr. Acme gets killed. Then Christopher Lloyd's there, and he's a judge who can execute people on the spot.
10 seconds.
No, a lot of mystery, capitalism, boo. Christopher Lloyd's a toon. He's scary. In the end, Bob Hoskins saves everyone.
Time.
Laughter.
Yay.
Wow. You really...
Pretty good. That was the best
Ooh,
one you've
Sweet
done.
time.
Thank you, Molly. As I was going, I was like, this is too long in the intro. I better get off here. And then
Yep.
it was better.
Hey, with ET, you spent like your first 40 seconds describing trees.
Yeah,
It's
So
almost
it's
like
excellent.
it's almost like you were on a like small town municipal road and didn't have the freedom to
I need
speed
to get on
along the
I need to
freeway.
get on and off and on and off.
Yeah, it turns out the plot was about a freeway,
Yeah,
which I
Progress,
guess
not
is very
perfection.
LA.
I bet that.
It's not
Very-
even really about a freeway. It's about like an entrance ramp.
Yeah, but Cloverleaf.
That's true.
That's
And
rest
I guess
stops.
it's really about genocide.
Kind
I
of,
mean,
yeah.
honestly,
I mean, yeah, it is
Like it's about like relocating
Yeah.
native people to make way.
I mean, not even
for
relocating.
progress. Oh yeah,
like actually
Right, just
exterminate
straight
them.
up like
Yeah,
spraying tunes with acid.
yeah,
I
for
have a question
So that they
progress, for the
disappear.
sake of
Yeah.
I have a
progress.
question about this.
Yes.
infrastructure.
Mhm.
So how does Toontown work? Because if they're like, we're gonna put a freeway through Toontown, but Toontown is made out of cartoons.
Yeah.
So like when they like spray, in theory, let's say he got what he wanted and
Yep.
he sprayed like that the
Dip.
dip or whatever all over Toontown.
Yep.
What would be revealed? Is it like
Nothing. It would just be
Land?
empty land.
so it? But what like human land?
Yep.
Just open land.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It wouldn't be like a cartoon land.
No, because the cartoon land would also get erased. You guys, it's laid out so clearly.
So there's like dirt underneath like
Yes.
Yeah.
cartoon hills.
You think? Wait,
Yep.
are you saying you think that? Are you saying you think Toontown goes all the way to the core?
Well, I mean,
You think
that
Toontown
was
is like
established in Space Jam.
what?
The tunes live in the
This
core
is a
of the earth.
completely different universe.
okay,
Humans
no,
and
but what
people
I'm saying is
coexist.
that, like, okay, if you erased Roger Rabbit, like, like a real rabbit doesn't like emerge from behind him.
Right.
So, like, if
Oh.
you erased a mountain that was made out of cartoons, like a real mountain isn't going to be behind
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It would
Like,
just
So
be
how
like
easy would it be to
flat
build a freeway
surface on
there?
which to build
So
a
it'd just be
freeway.
like blank nothingness.
It'd be waste.
Yes.
It would be wasteland, but
How-
there'd still be a base of earth under it.
It would be like
The
Las
mantle.
Vegas.
There wasn't like a chunk of
Before.
earth that wasn't there, and then our Acme was like, and RK Maroon were like, oh, I know, we'll draw the rest of the planet.
So somebody just came in and drew landscape over landscape,
Correct.
Yes.
and that's how
Well,
Toontown was born.
I'm guessing
Yep.
it was just an empty plot of land on the studio city of LA, and they were just like, oh, we'll just put the tunes here. It's a tune ghetto.
Oh, they're still created in this world.
It seems like it, right? I mean, there's
Why
a lot of
does it seem that
implications
way?
that they are.
Well, and it also seems like they never die except the bad guys from Laughter, which I guess we should talk about later. But like Betty Boop is hanging in.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
So
I mean, they might be in
boy.
just like some weird tune heaven somewhere. Like it's maybe
Well,
that's
I'm-
like floating over LA or something.
Yeah, the
Oh, it's
weasels
Smog.
turned into ghosts.
I feel like sometimes we make a comment that just erases Jaquette's brain. And it just like he's mid sentence and then he just gives up.
I was wondering if we had answered Beth's question.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like okay, yeah. There's land underneath Toontown.
that's
that
the
they
answer.
built Toontown in. They built a town out of illustrations.
Paint.
Yeah.
They're all made of paint.
What about like the
I don't understand how cartoons are made in this world.
It's magical realism, you guys. You're in the weeds. You're too in the weeds on this.
Like how does a baby tune get made?
Well,
I mean,
once it's
clearly,
made, it never ages.
yeah, they just get drawn that way, and then they have to deal with that
By
forever.
who?
An
By
animator,
our
I don't know.
creator.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to get in some turtles all the way down territory.
I don't know
Whoa.
what that is.
You don't know
Like
what
the
that
turtles
is?
that hold up the earth?
Yep.
No, the Ninja Turtles.
It's no.
Yeah, they're in the sewer.
They're in the
That checks
sewers.
out.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Splinter Drill.
Why
I
weren't
got
there
it.
Ninja Turtles in this? They're cartoons.
I don't know,
Cartoons.
because what's his name and other what's his name maybe didn't want to license the rights to him.
Dan Eastman.
I thought it was
and
Shut Up Nerds. Let's just say Shut Up Nerds right now.
Oh, let's just go ahead and say this was made in 1988.
Let's say that. Dan Linden was correct.
Boom, 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 boom.
Good job.
Beth, you weren't even alive.
I was in the...
Nope.
Yep.
Wow.
This cartoon was born before me.
Wow. Drawn.
Before I was drawn into existence. Then my eyeballs pop out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Turn into knives.
Wild.
I was 6 years old.
6 years old. I was in 8th grade. So
Ooh,
I was
that's
probably
also
12
very
or
cynical.
13,
Yeah.
which was not a great time to go watch a movie with your parents.
Like any movie, really.
Yeah.
Anything. No.
Or
no,
anything.
But that
yeah.
explains why I was so grumpy, because I enjoyed watching it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should we just dive into the things that you thought were going to make you grumpy and whether or not you were...
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I thought that Roger Rabbit was going to be super annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not unannoying, but he's also very sincere and sweet.
Right. Like, he's supposed to be annoying, but they don't, like... I feel like they don't overdo it most of the time, right?
He's got some real banana me. Is that?
Yeah. Sure.
Great.
Like, he's supposed to be just like cuckoo bananas.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to make Bunny and humanity come together.
Got it.
I
It took
apologize.
too long to figure out what you were.
That was not.
I
that was
apologize
stolen.
for completely misinterpreting what you were saying.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't say it with enough confidence. I really appreciated and also didn't remember at all his speech about why laughter is important.
Oh, like the foundational philosophy of Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's in being a goof to the bar folk,
Mm-hmm.
which is irresponsible. I agree with Bob Hoskins. But then he's like, also like, people got to laugh or else what's the point, kind of?
Yeah.
And hey, we do a comedy podcast. I
Right?
agree.
We are, you could say that we are floating around on the internet, smashing our heads with plates to entertain some drunks in a bar just trying to make it in this world.
And a cowboy.
Oh, that cowboy was great.
There's a really, since we brought it up, by we, I mean me, there's a great cowboy that's
Oh
in
my
the
God.
dive bar.
Does he
who's
even have
just
a
got
line?
I don't think so.
I don't think he
fringy to hell on his vest.
Amazing.
And,
I like to think that
pretty,
he just showed up that day dressed like that.
yeah, pretty stoic, but then gets into it. When
What I
things
love
get
about it is like it's not clear if that bar, restaurant, diner thing is like that close to the studios. Because like if it was right next to the studio, you could be like, oh sure, he's like in a cowboy show and he's just coming off of work. But no, I don't. I think he just dresses that way.
Think about like what Prince did for all of us by being Prince, right? Once Prince exists, anything that you do is not that big,
Oh sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like he created all this stuff out of nothing and wears like amazing clothes and does amazing things. And so what? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you buy a sports car? Oh, are you wearing a hoodie that's orange instead of gray?
Yeah.
Like it just gives you permission.
I like it.
That is,
you're right.
think,
I
the
should
role
think about
of
that
Roger
more.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
the role of Roger Rabbit. I
Yeah.
thought this was the cowboy the whole time.
Oh, okay. And well, no, that's what I'm saying is the cowboy
Is like
sees Roger Rabbit
right.
Is
Yep.
and is like, you know what? I want to dress like a cowboy, and it's not that weird.
Yeah,
I get
completely.
permission to be my full self.
I'm completely on board with this, Molly. I think, if we were to posit that there is a version of Los Angeles where Toontown exists, there's definitely going to be residents of that town who are just like, well, I mean, if I don't know, if Goofy's going to walk around, or I guess here we go. If Donald Duck is going to walk around in a pantsless sailor outfit every day of his life, I can wear this fringe jacket to go get dinner.
Yeah, he's living his truth.
Speaking of Donald Duck, I remembered when we got to that scene in the movie that I thought the dueling pianos between Donald and Daffy Duck was the coolest thing in the world when I was a kid. I was a big fan of both those ducks when I was a kid, so it blew my mind.
It feels somehow very special, at least it did to me, to see these two giant mega franchises together, just hanging out.
Just interacting with each other.
Yeah, that was quite the way to introduce, like, hey, look at this.
Look who we
There's
got.
these guys and
Look
these
what kind of
Yeah.
get we got.
I think it really does a lot to make it feel like the tunes are just actors, like to set that reality.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the people from different companies just doing their night thing together.
Right. It's sort of like, it does give like an authenticity to like, oh, like this is just like all cartoons you've ever seen are just working actors in LA. Like it's sort of like how 30 Rock used to have just like random people from NBC shows make cameos just to be like, yep, they're definitely working here. Like they're clear, you know what I mean? Just to authenticate the premise of the show.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating how they were always bookends. Like the Ducks, obviously, were the most literal, precise ones. You had Mickey, a pairing of Mickey and, the obnoxious rabbit. Bugs Bunny. Thank you. And then at the end, you had That's All Folks and Porky Pig and Tinkerbell close out together.
That was cute.
I was like, oh, yeah, that really makes sense and is very satisfying in a way I didn't expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Jessica Rabbit, though?
I would love to talk about Jessica Rabbit.
Absolutely.
I think it's fascinating.
Sorry, Rhonda Rabbit. What is going on? What is that outfit? What is
I wanted to know how they made it sparkle like that.
Now that's a positive take.
I was like, because they did all these like flat illustrations, and then her dress is like so sparkly.
I loved it. I loved that I love that whole concept.
Her waist is
ridiculous.
I don't know, 10% of her entire body.
It doesn't exist. It's absurd.
Yeah, she's got very large boobs.
Yep.
That every time that they get hit, make like a dong noise.
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking about her a lot.
Okay. Well.
Okay. All right.
And is she a satire of sexualized cartoons or just a sexualized cartoon or both? I think maybe they thought about doing that, and I don't know if they really did it well enough.
I don't know. Like I feel like it worked in the sense like if you like, I don't know if they did it enough to be like, hey guys, we know what we're doing, like to make it really clear they know what they're doing. But like when you just step back and just like, I don't know, like to me it worked just in the sense that like it's so absurd. Like when you actually think about like what this movie is trying to say, it's like these human men are horny for this ridiculous cartoon character. And not in like a weird horny way of just like, yes, this is, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, like somebody drew boobs. Like they're the whole introduction of her character was so like explicitly like, look at these human men like literally fawning over this absurd caricature of a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that by far was my favorite scene to picture without the cartoons.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. One of my MVPs was the guy like, just like the horny guy who gets like pushed back down into his seat by her.
Yeah.
Like, cause he really like, can you imagine just that being your one job, your one day on the set is like, okay, Rob, the sexy woman comes over and you really want to bang her. And now she's putting her weird hand on your face, but you're still so horny. Rob, stay horny, Rob.
Yeah. He played it thoroughly. It was, that was good. Here's the thing to me about Jessica Rabbit that takes it out of the realm of parody. It kind of reminds me of Smurfette, or Joe Prado friends will appreciate bringing up Gremlins 2, where the one female character is so super sexualized to the point where you realize none of those other characters are even remotely even gender neutral or possibly women, that they are all men. Because to be a woman in the cartoon world means you've got to be either Minnie Mouse or super sexy.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. What is Donald Duck's partners? Anyway,
Daisy?
the point is, for the Daisy. For the most part, like it's super like, and that's, as a kid who grew up wanting to relate to Smurfette, and realizing, first of all, the ratio of characters, boys to girls, was like 20-1, which I would say is also the ratio in this movie. And then when they are presented, they're all like Daisy Duke, like crazy ass, over the top sex. And so then where does that put you? Like mentally as a kid.
Oh,
Also, like where does it put you mentally as a kid if you are Dan Jaquette and like really attracted to a cartoon character?
I mean, that's a whole different conversation. I feel
It
like
was fine. I was
don't kink
6.
shame. Don't kink shame a 6-year-old, Molly.
But apparently Kathleen Turner was interviewed and she said that half the time people, when they ask her to autograph a picture, it's Jessica Rabbit.
Ugh. That's
Which is
terrifying.
like nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is nuts.
I mean, yeah, it's an iconic character
Sure.
for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I guess
Um,
so. But she didn't have her name on the credits
Yeah.
anywhere.
I
And the
do,
credits are 6.5 minutes long.
I do wonder if that
760
was
something.
I do wonder if that was her team's decision.
Apparently, she's not embarrassed of the movie, but maybe they were.
Why would she be? She just stood on set and said a bunch of lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not even that many. Like if you go back and look. Oh, P.S. Did not pass the Bechdel-Wallace test.
No.
They're,
Didn't
like,
even
standing right next
actually
to
did
each
come
other.
close. Yeah, Dolores.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
a reoccurring thing. Like reoccurring. What's the word? Recurring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recurring word. Okay.
Either one.
Anyway,
Both. Yep.
it happens over and over again
Mhm.
that there's two main characters. The main characters have females in their life,
Mhm.
and then at the end, the only time you see the women together is at the end. Like there's like one frame that has all 4 of them in one frame because it's like, see, they all live in the same world together.
Right.
And it blows my mind that the writers never thought, oh, what if we had these two talk to each other?
Or even like, oh, they're in the same shot. Maybe they should acknowledge each other directly.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah.
Although I have to say, if that's going to happen, it's really fun to watch the movie with Beth because she will supply that dialogue for you.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
really
It's
easy.
delightful.
We'll do a workshop.
Hypothetical dialogue. Yeah. Hey, Gina Davis.
Most
give
of
us
the
a
time
call.
it's just them introducing themselves to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really easy.
Which, like,
Um,
honestly makes sense in the context. Like,
Yeah,
they're in the
like,
same
oh.
shot. So it's like, oh, hello.
Hey, you must be Jessica. Oh yeah, I'm Dolores. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Done.
Done.
Although in this case,
Um,
it probably would have been just like, hey, Jessica Rabbit, who I recognize from the pictures. What are you doing?
Pictures. Well,
with
she's
my-
a lounge singer. Is she in pictures?
I assume. I don't know. She's a
Uh,
tune.
Maybe
she's
she's
probably in the
theater.
tabloids. Yeah, I want to say before we get too far away from Jessica Rabbit, we did get we post to our Discord, which you can be in if you're a patron. The day we're watching the movie, if anybody has anything they want us to talk about, the record. And we did that, and we got a couple about Jessica Rabbit.
Of course.
Carzon asks, why did Jessica Rabbit take Rabbit as a last name if she is not a rabbit? Wouldn't that get confusing with literally every other rabbit having Rabbit as a last name?
Mm.
I mean,
I think it's the patriarchy, take the man you're married name.
but also I'd like to push
Well-
back on that because the only other rabbit that we see in this movie has a surname of Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Legit.
So,
it's a family name.
I will say this during my Wikipedia time, came across a
Wait, is this
interview
Molly reads
with Kathleen
Wikipedia?
Turner.
Oh, yeah. Should
That's our beloved segment.
Sure, yeah. But
Molly reads Wikipedia. She hates the movie. She's so bored. She pulls out her phone, doesn't have any text, so she opens Wikipedia and reads the movie.
And just a quick reminder, if everybody donates $3,
Everybody.
we will either only do Wikipedia or never do Wikipedia again. Your $3 pledge is also your vote.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Molly?
But she makes a really good point where she's like, Jessica
Who?
Rabbit
Who
was
makes a good
really
point?
in love with her husband.
Kathleen Turner made that point.
Kathleen Turner made that point.
And what was that point?
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit really, really loves her husband.
Oh, yeah, she does.
And I guess it's the 40s. So I guess
Yeah,
everybody knows his name.
That's great. Everyone should love their husband. Is
okay.
that true?
And I
I'm
guess
just
she's
trying to think
not
if that's
the
true.
most liberated woman, even though she does have employment outside the home.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, that's great. I also was thinking like, oh, here's another like super hot wife, dumpy, funny
Right.
husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like everything.
Yeah.
Commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a just a result of how like normal things are created. Not normal, but you know how it's like typically created, and so they're commenting on that. That seems like parody to me.
Which
but
one?
maybe I'm wrong. Like because they're like, there's that whole scene where like, or you know when she's introduced and he's like she's married to
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit, and then Betty Boop is like, yeah, isn't she lucky?
Mhm.
Ain't she lucky or something like that?
lucky girl.
What a lucky girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
got away.
the whole
I've never
time.
spoken to her directly.
Well, I mean, you know, she works the floor and Jessica's talent, so I'm sure the manager is just like, don't.
Wow.
I know.
Betty used to be talent. Was
I
quick
know.
sidebar.
Ooh, that was great. I
Yeah.
thought that was great.
Hoskins and Betty Boop have some history.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, they do.
Wait a
Did they
minute.
bang?
That.
Did they
Bang.
bang? Did they bang? Did they bang? Did they bang?
No.
Did they bang? Did they bang?
You know?
No, I don't think.
Really?
I don't think cartoons are capable of sexual intercourse. I think that's part of the joke.
What?
Oh, okay. You think they play patty cake?
I don't know.
I disagree. I think cartoons can bang.
They can bang humans or they can bang each other.
Yeah. I
Either
think they
one.
can bang humans. Yeah.
Oh, I disagree.
You think that stuff gets drawn in too?
I'm still not convinced that they are drawn, they're created, and as opposed to birthed.
From what?
Okay.
Other cartoons, they evolved. They're
From
separate
what?
species. I don't
Then
know.
why doesn't
think
the
there's like a
baby's
little-
body change?
Because that's how the species works. They get locked into a
50-year-old
form.
So you're
Man.
saying Jessica Rabbit was born as like a 6.5 foot tall adult woman?
Yeah.
All right.
And her parents were.
James and Donna.
Lady. Right? Wouldn't her last name
Her last
be
name was
like
Lady.
what she is?
Maybe.
Yep. You're right.
So she was Jessica Lady before she married.
So Betty Boop is a boop?
Yeah.
Yep. She's from the
Yep.
boop.
Yeah.
She's a boop.
Mm,
Oh man, what was the other question? Because I don't
Oh.
know if we answered the first one.
I think I did.
Sure. The second one, Lady Grimm asks, what do you think about Jessica Rabbit's comment that she's drawn this way? What were the creators going for? Yeah. So the prelude to that is that she says, like, I'm not bad. I was just drawn this way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that is the one line where they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, it's, by the way, this is parody.
Right.
Anyway, let's get back to drawing this sexy lady. Oh, God, her boobs are so big.
Sure. I mean, it's
Got terrible back pain.
one of those
Oh.
things.
That poor woman.
Yeah, it is one. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where it's like they're clearly making a, like, they're doing parody, but like they still have to create the character, right? Like they're still making choices when they use that character once they've created her.
Yeah, and that's
You know what
like
I mean?
the only one they're using.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're trying to say, right? That they're
Mhm.
that she's a victim of circumstance.
Well, and again,
And
like, I really just have to
creation.
stress the fact that like the premise of like the thing we are supposed to accept in this movie is that every male wants to bang this absurd cartoon character. Like they
Yeah.
just it's just this, I don't know. To me it's so absurd because like she's that woman in this noir story, right? Like they do this all the time. Like Dick Tracy does that too. Madonna plays Breathless, whatever her name is, and it's the same idea. It's the same character. But the fact that it's a cartoon character is so ridiculous and stupid that like, I don't know. I accept the absurdity of Jessica Rabbit for that reason.
It does prove though that she was drawn. And not birth.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah.
That's just like how they talk about birth.
It's just like an
in
old
the
cartoon
teen community.
saying. It's a euphemism.
Oh,
Born this way.
drawn day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Drawn
You
day.
know, while we're talking about this, there's a part of the movie that I'm not sure you would remember unless you watched it recently where
I mean,
Which I
we
have.
just watched it.
Yeah, I also just watched it actually.
Okay, thank you. Well, I found this an unmemorable part except for this point in the conversation that we're having.
Mhm.
When he goes to Toontown and he thinks he's found Jessica Rabbit, and it turns out to be someone who's definitely not Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
like a bizarro world Jessica Rabbit.
Lena
But
Hyena.
she's amorous for him. It's like the opposite, right? Like
Right.
she's
Yeah.
unattractive, but
She's
is
the
attractive.
hornball.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was going for. She's the hornball.
Yeah.
So
What are you saying?
What I guess what I'm saying is, what does it matter what I'm saying? What is this movie saying? Who are these people? And like,
Who?
what? These creators of this crap.
I thought you liked this
these
movie.
Gatekeepers of content. I like this movie, but I'm mad. Like, I'm just so tired. Like, what? And Jessica Rabbit gets so little.
Mhm.
And then this other character is just a parody of a parody. Like, she has no respect, and the joke is that she's chasing after this dude, and that's scarier somehow than Lloyd, what's his name, Christopher Lloyd,
Oh.
who like is freaking scary as shit at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
the movie was
No,
trying
so
to.
I'm just saying, I'm just not letting them off the hook with that parody thing you got there, Dan Linden.
I'm not letting them
Your-
off the
your
hook.
whole- Yes, you
I'm
are.
not letting them off the hook 38 years later. No, 32 years later.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying
Fair.
it's not like I'm saying they didn't fail as catastrophically as maybe we were worried they were going to fail.
Yes.
I mean, that is really the best case scenario for most of these movies?
Absolutely. I mean, even for movies
Yeah.
today.
Oh, shut up! I gotta keep going somehow. Like,
What's happening?
I don't know. I think what's happening is Molly is realizing the inherent misogyny of 60 years of cartoons and all media right now in front of us, and it's hard.
oh my
It's hard to watch.
God. And there's this moment at the end where, okay, first of all, you have at least maybe a 50-to-1 ratio, at least 20-to-1 ratio of male cartoon characters to
when they
female
all walk
cartoon
in.
characters.
Yeah.
And at the end, they're like, I don't know, he's not a rabbit, he's not a turtle, he's not a whatever.
Yep.
Every speaking line is
Yep.
a male character.
Yep.
Even though there are women characters, female
Minnie's right there
identifying
doing a
characters,
dance.
all over the place, and they
Yeah.
don't get a single line.
Yep.
Like,
I'm going to throw this out there,
yeah,
which doesn't make it right, but some voice actors do multiple voices, and I wonder if they hired somebody who can do like a bunch of voices and they only had to pay him one time to do like, all the characters.
hey, a lady voice can be various pitches, but I like that theory.
It's true. They could have hired a male and a female voice actor.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
just
mean,
need the
like
two.
Minnie and Mickey basically sound the same. So, like, come on.
That's true.
That's
Couldn't
true.
be that. It
Ah.
couldn't be that cost prohibitive to have Minnie say something.
Yeah,
That's where they
I-
ran into the wall. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's-
Zemeckis, you get a huge budget. You could make a film like no one's ever made before.
Right. We're gonna get the Disney
animate
characters.
every frame.
We're gonna get the whatever weird dragon that's from.
We're gonna license some music.
Yeah.
We're gonna
We're gonna give you, I guess,
but
like
we
carte
only
blanche
get
to
one
yeah,
half
voice
day
actor.
actor to do most of the lines.
Yeah,
That's
we'll pay a
very
minimum wage.
Yeah.
They don't have a union.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
could see
My
that.
son can do those voices.
Yeah. Perfect.
But
I
only
heard him
boys.
do those voices with his friends.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of kids,
Yeah.
uh,
Are we talking
Oh.
Trolley Boys? Are we talking the Trolley
yeah, I
Boys?
did. Sorry, Molly. Did you want to talk anymore? I think maybe
Yeah.
the answer is sexism.
Yeah.
And speaking of boys, boys will be boys. Boys will
Oh.
ride on the back of a trolley and smoke cigarettes.
I love those kids
Wow.
so
as
much.
like 9-year-olds.
I love those
and then
kids
give
so much.
cigarettes to Hoskins.
Yes. I loved it.
Yeah,
I love those
anytime
kids.
they said.
They're
They were
just riding
great.
around town.
They were great.
Riding around
The whole trolley scene cast are on my MVP list. The trolley conductor was great. What am I, a bank?
Oh yeah,
Wonderful.
shuts that guy down.
And then just the kids just hanging out, smoking cigarettes. I assume because they're going to go like push a hoop down a hill with a stick.
Yeah, trick someone into painting a fence.
Yeah.
There was
And then
some
probably like
baseball.
Yeah.
Oh,
beat
where's
the- hey, let's go play some stick
Stickball.
ball with the Greedo and
yeah, this
the
is
other weird
old
aliens.
kid from Phantom of the Menace. Really
Gotta
watch these
finish
kids
with
as a study.
Yeah, I love those kids.
Bull.
But also, that scene showed us that as gruff and alcoholic as Eddie Valiant is, he is a man of the people,
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, Bob Hoskins crushes in this
right?
movie.
Oh my God. Can we talk about
Yes.
this?
There's a
He's-
scene where he tears up, and I was like, "You did that for this movie?"
He's a professional, man. The dude was a pro.
he delivers on all levels. He's like kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah.
A little bit of a goofball.
Yeah. But also like the
Acting-
most broken man in the world.
Yeah, like sad alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like when he yells at Roger Rabbit to get out of his dead brother's chair.
Ooh.
Oh, chills.
Right?
Chills on my spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he crushed it, especially when you consider the fact that he spent most of the movie just like talking to like a stick with tape on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
He really did great.
Yeah. This movie set me back to what I watched as a kid, and there was something kind of magical about watching the cartoons interact with real objects.
The level of detail they put into like each moment a cartoon was in it is ridiculous. When you think about like the technology they had available to them at the time, like
Those
the
are all
fact they even
practical,
put the
right?
effort into it is
Yeah, like they
insane.
make a little cabinet wobble or whatever, and like they're flying around the room, and it just
They bothered to put I never noticed this. This first time I noticed it. They bothered to make little streaks in the dust on his brother's chair after Roger's hand came off of it. Come on.
Whoa.
First line that made me laugh out loud. It's
Mhm.
kind of dark, but maybe this is the point. The first line that made me laugh out loud is, "Go easy on him. His brother was killed by a tune."
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
That made me laugh too.
I think that was dark, and I think that was the point. That is,
Yeah, it was very good.
I thought that was to me, that was the most fun part of this movie is how like they play it so earnestly like a noir, but they also acknowledge like most of these characters are like absurd goofballs.
Oh yeah, because he does sort of murder somebody.
Who?
The detective, Bob.
Eddie?
Eddie
He does?
Valentine.
Eddie.
Val-
Yeah, Eddie the detective. The guy who makes the cartoons.
Oh
He
yeah,
follows him.
yeah. It was a
house,
very
and then he
like
puts his tie
dark
in
noir move. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna torture him, and then he gets killed.
yeah. But he does just jump out of the
But
way. Like he doesn't even try to save the guy.
Oh no.
Maybe I missed that part.
That was hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he has gleeful bullets, and one is extremely problematic.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that goes back to if you want to go back to again the offensive nature of 60 years of cartoons. Like,
Yeah, talk about treatment of Native people in cartoons
Wow.
I mean that's the thing. Like you think about
and media.
yeah,
and
like you think
everything.
about this movie. You think about this movie where they're like, okay, so what if the Looney Tunes were in a noir film? Like in 1988, they would just be like, oh yeah, there'd just be like a stereotypical Native American bullet with all the other Western bullets, and like didn't even think about it beyond that because like every cartoon that ever featured a Native American character was probably that bad.
Yeah. As a kid, I thought that gun was cool as shit.
Me too. Thank you.
It's like a big chunky ass revolver
And it was
with
a
like
gift from
sentient
Yosemite
bullets.
Sam.
Oh, I
you
didn't
see that?
read the plaque. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, the all the random world building about his like past life as a Toontown cop were delightful. Like there was one of the newspaper headlines where him and his brother rescued Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which I never noticed before. That was delightful because they were probably being held hostage, so Scrooge McDuck would pay them.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Scrooge?
There was another one about I can't remember, like Goofy being innocent or something. I can't remember what it was.
Oh no!
They really tried to make Goofy seem like cool
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Does that seem right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger like
I
idolizes
mean, I
him.
think that was the joke, right? Is
Yep.
like Goofy is like the greatest guy.
He's like the Leo DiCaprio of tunes.
Yeah, like that's
Still
the rabbit.
dating people like half his age.
Yeah, I mean probably right.
He's like the Peter Sellers of this world.
What?
Peter
Who's Peter
Sellers. The Pink Panther movies, famously for.
Why
He's
is he
like-
the Peter Sellers?
Oh, I was just trying to think of like very serious, weird actors who
Oh,
did goofball
Goofy
things.
stuff, sure.
I
Or
think
like
Peter
Jerry
Sellers
Lewis
was like a real weirdo,
was like that too.
acty, but then yeah, he's just a goof as Jacques Cousteau. I love
Mhm.
those movies as a kid.
You
Great.
just wanted to wedge that in. You're like, I
Yeah.
know at some point in this Roger
We're
Rabbit.
gonna talk about Peter
podcast,
Sellers.
I'm gonna
Hey,
get Peter
check
Sellers in
out-
there.
Being There, a very contemplative movie about a lonely gardener.
With me, 8 of the characters in that Kubrick movie, probably not 8, quite a few of them.
Oh, how the bomb
How the bomb
went.
loved
I'm
me.
a doctor. Isn't it strange?
Yep.
Oh.
Anyway, this is about Roger Rabbit, the
Bomb.
movie.
Roger
Who
Rabbit.
framed Roger Rabbit? Sorry.
Hoskins Grudges.
Yeah.
Who did frame Roger Rabbit?
Indeed.
Judge
Christopher Lloyd. Judge Doom.
Capitalists.
and RK
Yeah.
Maroon.
He was kind of
blackmailed into it.
Blackmailed, or extorted. Molly, do you want to walk us down your journey watching a sentient shoe being dissolved in acid?
For the listeners, we were I don't know what you call it. Tell us something.
Video chat?
Video chatting while watching the movie. And like we all I think I can say pretty confidently that all three of us at one point just stopped watching the screen and just watched Molly on the video chat.
Oh, I got a screenshot of that reaction.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I will share it on our Instagram.
I would say,
and other social media.
Yeah. Okay, if you put it on social media, maybe our listeners, our Totes heads can corroborate this. I would say it is at probably around the same level as when Auntie got killed in terms of facial expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like abject horror and sadness.
On there. Yeah. I'll put Auntie on there for comparison.
Oh,
as
thank you. Very good. Okay,
Auntie or shoe. It could be like a fun guessing game.
Yeah. Yeah. One of them looks like Zoom and one of them doesn't.
Yeah, right.
I wonder which one it is.
But yeah, it's pretty brutal because that
is.
shoe's like kind of like a little puppy almost.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, and then just what is the law system that's happening where
No, the implications of Doom's position are very interesting.
he's a real Judge Dredd type, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
He's the whole system. Like he decides who is guilty and then carries out the sentence on the spot.
Theory. I have a theory. Do you think after he murdered Valiant's brother, the city council was just like, all right, these tunes are out of control. Like we need a system of law in Toontown where you can just like completely destroy them with any, again, the Judge Dredd system where you can just like become the executioner and jury all at once.
So he set it up. So he created the fear.
I mean, I don't know if that was part of his plan at the time, but it just worked out for him.
Yeah.
Make them the enemy.
Because there was a throwaway line about how he like greased a few palms in Toontown. That's how he got the position. So like it wasn't necessarily always quite so murderous, that position of being like the lawman of Toontown.
Abolish judge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, some dark stuff.
But yeah, Molly, do you want to walk us through that moment for you?
I mean, okay, all right. There is a box of silly shoes that gets knocked over in some mayhem.
One of which I'm pretty sure was a pair of goose-stepping boots. Just want to point that out.
It's a little intense. But one adorable wayward shoe just happens to cross paths with Judge Dredd and Judge Doom. Oh, it's his actual name.
The dreaded Judge Doom.
The dreaded Judge Doom.
That's hard to say.
And he just like he's baking cookies.
Yeah.
Describes the murder he's about to commit.
Yeah.
Dangles this poor innocent thing over a vat of acid, the likes of which we have not seen since one of those Batmans. I don't remember which one.
Doesn't he give us the whole recipe too? Like he's so proud of himself for coming up with this like weird, gross.
He's congratulating himself.
Yeah.
For being a homicidal maniac, and then you sort of think maybe they'll cut away.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he'll just toss the shoe because it's not really worth its time.
Right. No, he enjoys it.
And he follows through to completion.
Yeah.
And it is
it's
brutal.
It's disturbing, honestly, because then they show his hand and it's covered in like red ink, presumably. But it looks like blood.
And it's the first time you see this character, so you are real clear it's the villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like where do you get red dripping glove out of green acid goo? You get there with the blood of Toons.
Yep. The red paint
brutal.
of a cute shoe.
Yeah.
It was like wearing like a little tux, basically. It was
I know,
like,
and he makes little squeak noises.
Oh, it was so cute. Really
but also really established the stakes.
Yeah. And Christopher Lloyd crushes as well.
Oh my God. Like, can you, okay. Like Bob Hoskins, for one, like Bob Hoskins, you're already like, oh my God, think about like what he had to do all the time. But like Christopher Lloyd, the direction had to be ridiculous for him, right? Like, okay, Christopher, we're putting a bunch of makeup on your face to make it seem like your face isn't a real face. Just remember, your face isn't your real face. Like, that was his direction every day of filming. Your face isn't your real face. And he had to wear those ridiculous dentures the whole time, too.
Yeah. And what was he originally? I feel like they threw in that line at the end because after, sorry, spoiler alert, he gets killed by his
In the
own
way that I
acid.
predicted.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly in the way that Beth predicted. After he gets killed, one of the tunes sort of casually says, "I wonder what he looked like," and because that's what I was wondering too. It was like, well, you got little glimpses, but you didn't get to see the whole of the tune version.
Yeah.
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 That seemed kind of lazy.
He had gold hands
and red eyes.
and red
that
eyes.
turn into daggers, which is creepy.
Yeah.
That part still scared me a little bit.
It's still really creepy.
And
I can
with his
report
head
that
in the
Dan
couch.
got up from his seat,
Yes.
turned around, and buried his head in the sofa cushion.
We'll
Very
pretend
good.
that was a bit. But just like the not quite good because it was hard, but to do like animated eyeballs on his empty looking sockets, the sort of rough nature of that effect was very effective in being
so creepy.
very unsettling.
Yeah.
Along with the after he gets steamrolled and he comes up as just like a paper thin,
Oh God,
weird kind of maybe claymation monster almost.
So creepy.
Yeah.
And it's like just cackling in this high pitched voice.
Yeah.
It's legit scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
That whatever sound he makes as he's melting is the worst. It's like disturbing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
disturbing.
keeps reporting on it too. I'm melting, I'm melting, I'm melting. It's kind of very Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought he was going to start saying, "What a world, what a world."
Yeah.
They probably
I think
thought about it.
Paying
But they were like,
homage.
we can't say the
Homage.
whole line.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was
He-
part of the budget cuts too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Bobby, you get Bugs Bunny, you get Mickey Mouse, you get one voice actor, and you can only say half of the Wizard of Oz line.
But he also, classic Christopher Lloyd, brings his comedic chops to bear.
Yes.
I was lolling as he tripped on fake eyeballs or whatever he was tripping on.
Yeah.
Ping pong
Like
balls.
he stumbles so well. I don't know. He just he threads the needle well of being like an actually a villain that is going to commit genocide
Right.
and also bring in some levity.
Well, and like it was actually like knowing the twist at the end. Like it was kind of fun to watch him in the earlier scenes of the movie because like there are definitely like he plays it as like he plays the character like he has a familiarity with the tunes more than a lot of the other human characters. You know what I mean? Like some of his
Yeah.
mannerisms and just like the way he kind of like even the way he interacts with the weasels sometimes it feels very much just like another tune just being like you knuckleheads and that kind of thing, but also like a terrifying genocide man. Like he played this weird
Yeah.
balance actually really well
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Do you think he's also a weasel?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, because he
That would
said
have been an interesting reveal. Because the
he
cheetah
said
cousins.
he said the weasels. Yeah, the weasels had hyena cousins, and they all died
hyena.
laughing.
Yeah.
So maybe it's Scar. Holy
Yeah.
Okay.
Proto Scar.
shit, Proto Scar,
Wow.
or like Scar's
There was-
dad. He was
There was
Scar's
some
dad.
there was some other thing in there that made me think of Lion King.
Oh,
Well, don't remember it.
great,
Good podcasting.
great podcasting.
You know, I would like this movie as retold through the eyes of Dolores, who
Mhm.
is
Oh,
technically the love
Dolores.
interest of Eddie the detective. She is so solid. And
Great
what does
hats,
she do?
too.
She holds it down. She does the research. She
Yeah.
hides Roger Rabbit. She's savvy. And what is she doing with these people? You know,
Yeah.
she herself is the Jessica Rabbit to her detective.
hmm
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 Yeah. Yeah. She really plays the role of competent woman who doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they
and I mean, what is
imply.
her day to day?
Yeah. Well, she's running that
She
diner bar.
runs a bar.
But she
There's-
works there, right? Like
Yeah,
she has
sh-
to
like,
she has
might-
to return money to the till.
Yeah.
And she gets fired. She gets fired because
Yeah.
of Detective Eddie and that rabbit.
Yeah.
And like, what does she
You
get
know
a
what
job at
she
the
does say?
telephone factory? What?
That he is a good man.
She does
Mm.
say that.
hmm
There's, I mean, there's
That's how we know.
the the sad montage of panning over Eddie's desk implies that she used to just work for their detective company back when
Yeah.
they were the two brothers and her, and they were all bosom buddies and had a great time. Went to Catalina together, and then after Eddie's brother died, things fell apart, and Eddie hit the bottle hard and
Really hard.
really hard.
He like really drinks a lot.
In this movie,
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that second, so he drinks some. He has like a hip flask
yes,
in the first when you first meet him, and then in the second time you see him drink is in what's his face's office,
hmm
and he has like a tray of a bunch of like liquors, and he like can't focus on what he's saying because he's staring at the tray of whiskey, I'm presuming.
Yeah,
But
show
like,
don't tell.
it was just like, wow, that guy really looks for a drink.
yeah. Like even
Oh,
though
that whiskey were Jessica Rabbit. He couldn't look at it any harder. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
I do know what you're saying.
I do also know what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, there was a point where, like, I know it was probably, just like iced tea or whatever, but at some point in the movie, he knocks back, like, what I think would probably be maybe like a triple or quadruple of whiskey in
Yeah.
one shot. And I actually went, oh, out loud. It's just like the concept of just slamming back that much spirits in one shot, like, actually unsettled me for a second.
Yeah.
In the end, they defeat capitalism,
Sort of.
and then
Right,
it's
I
just
guess
going to
they
be
do.
like all of Toontown belongs to all the Toons.
I do
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
want to go to that
Yeah.
co-op meeting.
Oh my
That
God.
like
right?
neighborhood association meeting would be
Yeah.
bananas.
Oh,
It's
it'd be
just gonna be
it'd take forever.
Chaos.
Do you think what's going to happen is that, like, when the Toons have control of their own area, like, they'll just run amok to the point where, like, the city just ends up putting another Judge Doom in place?
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
really sad.
I'm just saying, like, 1940s LA is very different from, 1980s, 1990s LA, and I don't know if they would tolerate that shit.
Yeah.
Although now
I
I
don't-
definitely want to see a gritty reboot where, like, a bunch of, like, hard ass LAPD have to deal with Toontown, and they've barely changed in 60 years. That'd be fun.
I don't know, man.
I'd watch it.
I think this movie really effectively hits like a kids noir movie, though.
But also
Like-
not really for kids.
But yeah, no, I think it's like not. I like where it lands.
Me too. I love the tone of
In
it.
terms of tone, like it's still like enough of a movie where it's like definitely is like a kids or a family movie, but it's got like
Well, at
enough
least the kids
darkness where
movie.
you're
The
like,
kids are
yeah,
family
this is
movie in 1988 standards.
Right,
at least.
88, yeah.
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
everybody's
there was
like,
definitely a lot of stuff in there that I did not pick up on as a kid.
Right.
And I was like, whoa. Like
Yeah.
that whole patty cake thing really upset me.
Wow, that was hot
yeah,
in an unsettling way,
Sure, it
like
was.
uncomfortable.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. I mean, okay. And then there were uplifting moments. Like I love seeing Droopy Dog,
Oh,
and I love that
Droopy.
Droopy was the elevator operator. So fun.
Oh, I'd like to
Delightful.
point out there was a random poster when they panned through Toontown that implies that Porky Pig is selling sausages,
Ooh.
or at least is like the mascot for a brand of sausages.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Gotta work.
Yeah, man, gotta hustle. Apparently, he's also a beat cop in Toontown.
Is he?
Yeah, at the end, him and some of the other Toons were cops.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, move it along. And then he's like, that's all, folks. And he's like, I
They-
can't do a Porky.
Cops are pigs.
Oh
The
yeah.
rest of them weren't
Right.
pigs.
Oh,
Cartoon.
I get
I
it.
got that.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, back from what you were saying, Dan, like, I think that's what I love about this movie. And I loved it when I was a kid too, just like the tone of it, where like they earnestly hit so many like noir beats, but it's also like all of these characters are still like absurd wackadoo goofballs, right? And like the human characters still treat it like they're in a serious noir movie most of the time. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
delightful.
but
I
they
really
still,
think
like, Yeah, they solved the problems with like kid ways, kind of at the same time,
yeah,
like to make the weasels laugh to death.
right.
is like a good way. Like they're tricking them, but it's also like we're goofing to do
but
the
also
thing.
like these are the same wheels that are wielding like real guns the whole movie. I don't know. I just love that. Like I love how they just exist in this world, but like all of the stakes of our world are still true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to picture like this gritty cop, like 80s LA version. And I'm thinking about how tunes can only die laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or dipped.
Yeah.
Well,
is that for all tunes? I mean, then they turn into ghosts and they change form, maybe?
I mean, the
I don't know. I guess
that,
I'm just trying to figure out like, will just the boring tunes make it? Like, I don't.
Well, Betty Boop's been going strong for decades, apparently.
That's fair. And she's not hilarious. I will tell you what's also not hilarious to me and hasn't been, is the whole like massive injury to a tune. I don't know, watching the opening scene, which in some ways is really funny, except at a certain point they just heighten the violence to where I just get honestly concerned. And I was remembering and watching, I was like, oh, I felt the same way when I was a kid. I only liked the Tom and Jerry's where they got along.
Yeah.
You know, they had a few episodes where Tom and Jerry and the dog all got along.
They had to like team up to like get out of the house or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. And it really upset me, like the whole itchy and scratchy version. Yeah, and I was just like, maybe this humor just isn't for me. Like, I'm just not constructed to enjoy, like, I don't know. Some of it was funny. Why is some of it funny and some of it's like, well, that's just too far? That's a rhetorical question.
I think everybody has a different threshold for that kind of
line,
stuff.
Right? Like, was that hilarious for y'all, that first sequence where he's filming a short?
Probably when I was a kid, I thought it was really funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I
bet when I was a kid, I thought it really funny.
It's kind of the same effect like when we watched Home Alone and we were like, as adults, seeing what the wet bandits go through, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like the stairs alone would have just wrecked me. Like, but as a kid, you're like, oh, it's nothingness. Like, but also like kids can do crazy things and not get hurt.
Right.
Like I remember being at a family gathering where one of my cousins, my little cousins, was jumping up and then landing on her knees. Like she would jump on her feet and then land on her knees. Like,
I'm just cringing.
The first time that I did that, I would crumble into a million pieces.
Oh yeah.
And she was like having the time of her life.
Right.
Like I don't think kids, I mean, clearly kids get hurt, but like not in the same way that like adults are like, oh my God, if I got it.
Yeah. They've got a little more
anything. Like
bounce back.
Yeah, getting out of bed in the morning is like
Yeah. I have recently reached a new milestone in age, which is I am sit down to put my pants on years old. Because I tried to do it while standing like 3 weeks ago and maybe broke my toe.
What?
Oh, no.
It still kind of hurts.
Like because you were bouncing on it weird or something?
I just I lost my balance and like thrust my foot down to catch it and just crammed it into the bed frame super hard.
Oh no.
And this was like this was like maybe a month ago. So I gave it a couple days and then we started isolating. I was like, well, I'm not going to the doctor for this. It's probably fine.
Maybe just tape it to your other toe and see what happens.
I do that sometimes. I ice it sometimes. But so now I don't take that risk anymore.
Good. Attaboy. Sit down to wear pants years old. I love it so much. Oh, Molly, your comment about Roger's, the opening scene with Roger's cartoon short, like I did find it kind of, I was really delighted that it was sort of like this weird, I don't know, like almost like subtext about like the studio system, right? Where like Roger is just like his entire purpose is to get injured, right? You know what I mean? Like he's basically like the studio pays him to hurt himself, and he's actually like, it's such a place of desperation that he's literally following the director, hitting himself to show him that he can make certain shapes come out of his head. It's just the studio system of the 30s and 40s, man.
Yeah.
Like, we own you. Do what we tell you.
Those birds, they're just created from his head?
Apparently.
That was blowing my mind, too.
I love it.
Maybe that's how cartoons are born.
Right?
Beth.
through head injury.
Out of
Oh,
So
it's like
head
just
injury.
a
Greek
rabbit
myth.
just
I love it.
spinning around
It
someone's
is, yeah.
head.
Athena.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like Athena. All tunes are Athena. Great.
We figured
Canon.
it out.
So
Yeah.
okay, so what I'm hearing then is like some tune had a splitting headache, but a sexy one. And then
Sex
Ooh.
headache.
yeah.
I got this headache because there's saxophones playing too
Right.
loud.
And
next
then
to
another
it.
tune like hit him on the head with a big enough frying pan that it cracked open.
Yeah.
And then Jessica Rabbit came out fully formed. That's what we're saying?
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love it.
One tune loves another tune.
Yep. They
Smash each other on the head
right.
until a baby tune emerges forth.
But not always a baby tune. Usually a fully grown adult tune.
Well, I mean, the body is
Sometimes
different
the car.
than the soul, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
What,
Or do they-
Molly?
No, sometimes a car.
Oh,
right?
Benny.
There's a
Poor
cartoon.
Benny.
Benny.
Ha.
He's trying his
There
best.
was a cartoon. Beth predicted,
Oh.
Yes.
and it
Mhm.
was real, and it was as pictured. Its little feet get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Oh, that
putting
was
on
rough,
pants.
man.
But
It is like putting pants.
rolling through some acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be painful.
Right?
Yeah, and little feet just like
Yep.
like doggy paddling across the street.
Yeah, it was like his.
so
it was just like if
cute.
like paw pads.
You know what
got,
he
like,
needed?
What?
Shoes.
Booties, little booties. Oh no!
How do you put a
Well,
shoe
but
on
the
a
shoes would
tire,
have melted
though?
too.
A
People
boot.
put boots on tires.
Yeah.
The shoes would have melted too,
boom,
though.
boom, boom,
Molly.
boom, 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 boom.
Speaking of that scene, though, I really more than I ever have watched the movie, just enjoyed the visual of Benny the car driving a car,
Yep.
but
It's fun.
using
And then
his
using
own
his-
headlights.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
good.
That
So
was
Very
good.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Also,
I like that a lot.
Again, like the practical effects in this movie are ridiculous. Like the fact that they had the dudes driving cars, the fact they had the penguins carrying around real trays at the club. I love it.
Yeah. Those penguins are from Mary Poppins. They're so great.
Oh, they were those penguins, weren't they?
Yep.
Hmm.
Nice.
They
I
get
love it.
tuxedos on.
They're the best.
All men.
Wait.
I'm just saying.
Did you say almond?
All
Almond.
men. All
Oh, the
men.
penguins?
Oh, almond. Not okay.
The penguins were?
Almond.
I think you said
the penguins.
amen.
I also thought you said amen.
I thought you said almond, and then I was going to make a joke by thinking it was almond.
Sorry.
Really, none of us know what you
Nope.
This is the best episode we've ever done. Well, you're welcome, listeners. We respect you so much.
Yeah. Speaking of how much we respect you,
Oh, yeah.
so as part of voting on this film, we also asked a few questions, got some feedback. Thank you so much for everybody that did that.
Yeah.
We really love hearing from you.
Yeah, it's very validating to hear that people actually enjoy this.
Yeah. So I just, it really is. So thank you very much. You can always send us email at hello@totesregal.com or get at us on the socials, as they say.
That's
But-
tempting.
Yeah. Send us pictures of your pets to
Please.
send to Channing Tatum.
Please, we need them.
Yeah, but I wanted to just read a couple, either because I like them or they vindicated me.
I see. So there's an agenda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we asked people just like what their favorite moments or bits or whatever were for the podcast, and someone said, just the riffing. I love the natural relationship between everyone. Although I do sometimes think about when the cat ran away between recording the first half and the second half, and it threw everyone off. I don't want it to happen again, though.
Oh, well, do you have any updates on that?
How's Larry?
He's fine. He did get out. We had a nice spring day last week here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it also snowed a bunch on Easter.
Yep.
But my wife saw him and he got scared of being seen outside and ran back inside.
Oh, good job, Larry.
Yeah.
She's like, I see you.
That's
So
pretty much
guilt
exactly
worked.
what done.
Guilt
So, yeah.
drew him back into the house.
Yeah. My fault. I left the door open. Sorry, Larry.
Ooh.
Someone else has to say, I love the good vibes that you all emanate and the apparent friendship you share.
Yeah, we're all
is
professional
apparent.
actors. When this show ends, I take off my human mask and my voice gets way higher, and and then we just don't really talk to each other until we do another episode.
Yeah. Thank you for recognizing our acting skills and liking each other.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Molly and I were actually we've been divorced for 20 years. It was very contentious.
yeah, and I murdered Beth's
That's
brother.
why he always jokes about divorce talk. You murdered my brother?
Yeah, I dropped a piano on his head.
Oh shoot!
It's
Yeah.
me.
You see how good of actors we are? Beth barely reacted to that.
Yeah, that's how good of an actor I am.
Yep,
that
but
I
inside
at
she's
all.
seething. Inside
So
she's
acting is
boiling with
reacting.
rage.
That's true.
And
Yep.
some reactions are to not react at all.
At all.
Anyway, thank
This
you
has
for
been Masterclass.
thank you for acknowledging, or thank you for, I guess, being aware of our friendship. I'm glad that carries through the airwaves. I don't know.
Someone else wrote that they like Joe Prado, captain of
Hey.
transportation, because he's reliable and a good captain. Also, #everything.com.
Oh,
Sure. He is a great
Wait, is that your
captain.
vindication?
Yes.
Wait,
the
what was?
.com bit.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, also Joe Prado.
Yeah.
Someone else-
hey, Bobby Zemeckis, what if you just created your own character for the movie that was some kind of transportation tool? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe just like a vehicle that could talk and,
yeah.
maybe move
I know it's you're doing it in LA, but what if we had a classic New York cab driving around here? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, all cabbies, the New York cabbies.
Hey, when that sexy rabbit lady gets in, he'll use his door like an arm and maybe almost touch a butt, and it'll be weird.
But also, like, you gotta be nice to women. That's how I always treat my wife whenever I take her into a car, because I love it so much.
God, I love her so much. I always open the door for her so the door would never touch her. She didn't want it to be touched. I love my wife. Joe Prado. Yeah, he's a good captain.
JoePrado.com.
Yeah.
Great captain.
Yeah. We also, this is just a little feedback for the listeners. We also added a question to try and get a sense of where people were.
Like geographically?
Geographically.
Yeah, not emotionally.
I know.
We did have that question.
We did have that question later. And this was Molly's idea for a question, which I think is a good idea. And I want to apologize because I punched it up to make it funny, which actually reduced the usefulness of the responses. So instead of just saying, like, what's your city? I wrote, are you one of our Australian listeners? If not, what city do you live in? And most people just said no.
You really Roger Rabbited this.
Yeah.
Tried to use laughter where it wasn't appropriate.
Yeah. So sorry, but also read the whole question.
Yeah.
Do we want to tell people why we asked that question?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we were just curious where people are, because if we have a lot of listeners in one area, perhaps we would come to your town and do a live show.
Yeah,
but
you could tell
we'll
all
never
your
know now,
friends
because
to
they all
come.
answered no.
Yeah. Except for one person who we still have our Australian listener. Hello, Victoria. We're glad you are still listening.
I would definitely do a show in Australia if you can guarantee that we could sell tickets.
Yeah, enough to cover 4 flights from Minneapolis to
And boarding.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Very
So
good.
if you could just explain to all your hip Australian friends with money how great this podcast is, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, who are the rich Australians? You got the
Who are the rich
Hemsworths,
Australians?
Yeah.
Kidman.
I mean, honestly, if it was just Victoria and the Hemsworths,
I would
I'm in.
take that. Are you
I
kidding me?
think Victoria would be cool with that.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Like, I
Okay.
would
Tweet
sit,
at us
I
if
would
you want us
sit
to
in
do a
Thor's
private-
lap if we did that. Oh my
Actually,
God.
Yeah. Actually, never mind. You don't need to hear my update on my favorite Chris. No one cares
Maybe
about
just
that.
tweet it out. Just tweet it out.
I'll tweet it out. I mean, you could guess from the prelude to that. Great. Also, we got some good feedback on just how other things were going. A lot of people saying they're liking the dog and cat tweets.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for
everybody.
supporting our attempt to engage with Channing Tatum.
Yeah. So far he has not acknowledged us in any way.
But has not blocked us, which I
But has
consider
not
a win.
blocked us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Maybe he's muted us. I don't know if that's a separate
Hashtag
feature.
everyday. Oh, let me see if I can do this off the top of the dome. Hashtag everyday Che 2020 dog tweets. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. There's a lot more than that. But we really respect and appreciate you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
listening.
Yeah.
We do this anyway because apparently we're friends.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's nicer to do it for other people.
Yeah, agreed.
Great. Then before we get to our final ratings of the show,
Movie.
we watched, oh boy, we like to read a review of our podcast at treacle.com in the style impression of a character from the movie.
Or
and we
Nick
have one.
Cage is always
Or
on the
Nick,
table.
or Nick Cage is always
Sure.
on the table.
Yeah.
I just talked a lot about respect listener opinions, so maybe someone else wants to talk.
All right. Oh, boy. I think my wife is trying to sleep, but I'm going to go for it and try to be Roger Rabbit. All right. Like no other, I found Totes Recall because I heard Beth speak on a panel in Minneapolis. I immediately was inspired by her, and after tuning into the podcast, I can confidently say that this crew is incredible. Totes Recall has saved my commute and feels like spending time with friends. Sometimes I laugh so hard that I start crying. Listening to this podcast makes me feel like you're in on the joke and you belong. I'm so happy I heard Beth that day, and I'm so happy that this part is now in my life. Thanks for making a 23-year-old who's still figuring everything out forget the real world for a while. Thank you, Hannah Bubser Hannah.
Yay! Thank you,
Thank you,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Oh, that is so cool.
nice.
It's very sweet. We'll
was
figure
very
it
nice.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
figures you
We're all
out.
figuring it out.
Hey,
For real.
we are.
Yeah, but also cool it. You're still young.
Yeah, you're like
Oh, yeah.
almost a teen. Cool it.
I mean, we're all 35, so in my world, you're still a teen.
Yeah.
So, cool it.
One day you'll
Hey,
be
oh
putting
come
your
on
pants
now.
on. sitting
Hey, 23 is like you're really cruising at that point. That's
Yeah,
not-
That's why you have to cool it. Right? You can't just cruise all over the place.
Yeah, you're looking at TikTok on TikTok instead of
You know what?
Twitter.
I think we started Totes Recall when I was 23.
Whoa.
12 years later.
And now look where you are.
Is it 7 years this
I
year?
don't
Oh, I
know.
thought it was
6
6.
years.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, I was young.
It's easy to. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Great.
Great, splice it back in.
Oh, or tweet at us, hashtag this many years.
How old was that?
Here, I'll set it up for you, Beth.
Oh, yeah.
We started this podcast in 2014.
2014. So in 2020, I'll turn 35 years old.
Yep.
Beth has been 35 for years.
But actually 31. What's the math there?
Tweet at us.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Tweet at us, listeners. Hashtag this is how old Beth was.
Yep.
I was 24.
Well,
No, I don't know. Who knows?
just tweet at us.
Just tweet at us how old I was when we started the podcast.
Just start by how old she was when this movie was made in 1988.
Right.
Yep.
Just
And
negative
then-
one.
-1.
-1, and then add up to 2014, and
Oh,
then
boy.
subtract that from 2020.
This
Are
is
they
like
really-
something. I feel like there's like a weird giveaway where it's like, you tell us how old Beth was, and we'll send you
A
something.
birthday cake.
We'll send you a picture of her cat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Aw, that's fair.
So many pictures.
but also send us your pictures of your cats because. Or wait, when is this coming out? No, never mind. It'll be over. April was cat
Cats
month,
or
right?
dogs month?
Oh.
Listen, I think we
April
can
is
do cats or
all
dogs
cats or
month
dogs.
another month.
Maybe by now it's all pets or dogs. Who knows?
That's true. Send us a picture of your lizard,
Yeah, let's
Jake.
open this up to birds and reptiles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And our rating scale was steamrolled tunes,
Right.
which there's one in this movie.
Yeah. Yikes.
Dan, you gave it a 5,
Yep.
thinking it was it would maybe be terrible, but you were going to be bold and follow your heart since you loved it as a kid.
Yes. I loved it as a kid. I still really enjoyed it as an adult. I really just loved the tone of the movie and was very impressed with the effects of cartoons being around the world. And also, like, the reason I loved it as a kid is because, like, I thought it was super cool, the idea of hanging out with cartoons when I was a child. there weren't a lot of kids my age in my neighborhood, and also Molly, my parents are divorced.
Aw.
So I spent a lot of time playing by myself. So I thought it seemed super cool. Anyway, that's too much information for Steamroller Tunes. It was a little slow in some parts.
4. Great. Beth, you gave it a 2, thinking you would not like it.
Yeah,
But
I
you
was
wouldn't be bored.
I was wrong. I wasn't bored. I didn't love it. But I didn't hate it either. So I think I'll give it a 3.5 Steamroller Tunes.
So is that where the steamroller stops halfway? And it's just like the torso
Yeah,
of the
and
tune
so
just
half-
hanging out?
Oh, they're
Oh.
half steamrolled.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
they're just half a tune.
Oh, I wish
Yeah.
I
Well, what
picked a
would that
different
be?
rating system. Eesh.
Like one had been dipped halfway in the dip
Oh,
and then
jeez.
rolled over.
Lord bless us and
That's
bind
terrifying.
us. Jeez.
That's the
Very
world we
sad.
live in.
Well, the world
Sorry.
they live in, at least.
Maybe we shouldn't have judges be working the streets.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's definitely the main
that's
take with this
legit.
movie is like judges should stay in the courts and not become fully empowered executioners just wandering around.
And also, they shouldn't be allowed to make individual investments. Our
That's
elected
right.
officials
Right?
shouldn't be able to invest in infrastructure.
There's
Yeah.
clear issues there, a lot of
Yeah.
issues there.
It's a violation.
Yeah.
of-
Also, they can't have their own posses. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
should be
were
only
those
lobbyists.
weasels just goons?
One of the Weasels was called Sergeant, so they were deputized in some way. Or his name was just
and then one of
Sergeant,
them
I
had a
guess.
straight up straight jacket on. That was
Correct.
like
Yeah.
inappropriate.
I mean, that was also very much like cartoons from the last 60 years.
Yeah, like, oh, the
Mhm.
crazy one.
Yep.
Oh
Mhm.
Lord.
I gave it a 4. Thinking I'd really like it, but that it also was a turd that I shined, but still was pretty shiny. I'm not sure about my metaphor anymore, but I did really like this, and I think 4 is right. I think I still enjoyed it. It did drag a little bit, but I also really appreciated it as a movie in equal parts to liking it. I think it's a very imaginative movie, and I really like. You don't see a lot of kids movies that hit this dark tone at all or as well as this did. So 4, good job, Molly. You gave it a 1.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember why, but you also bet that you and Lyndon would swap scores, which
Yes.
has failed
All right.
in that he did not give it a 1.
You gave it a 4?
He gave it a 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you could argue that if I was going for a 5, that the 1 is like, this was like the 1 of me liking it, right?
Yeah.
Or 5 minus 1 is 4.
There you
That's
go.
true.
So I
That's
took
legit.
your 1 and then it's subtracted from the 5.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think watching this movie, I understood why my 8th grade self hated it.
hmm
I got it, and I was honestly outraged, obviously, by a lot of the parts, but also just deeply charmed. There were so many beautiful moments and dumb puns that I just genuinely like. There's a one moment where he orders a drink on the rocks and he says,
so
"Bring me
good.
ice." He clarifies, and I was like, "Oh wow!"
And they still
Information,
bring him rocks.
clarification plus
Yeah.
fun. Oh,
Yeah.
so
So
good.
good.
Yeah.
There was just a really good line from Dolores when she catches him, just finds him with Jessica in his office. And she says something like, "Oh, you're dabbling in watercolors, Eddie?" That's a good fucking line.
It is a good line.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think I
Sorry.
learned what on the rocks means from this movie.
Nice.
Because I don't know, I didn't know much drink terminology at 6 years old otherwise.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
weren't you weren't just like tossing them back.
Tossing it back like,
That was
I'll take
probably
a
another-
double.
Yeah,
It's all
probably
that
another
milk.
30
Yeah.
years before I knew what neat meant.
Mm,
Sure.
I think means nothing.
Yeah.
No rock.
No rocks.
yeah. So
I'm sorry for interrupting you,
sympathize-
Molly.
Oh no, that's great. No, I sympathized with my 8th grade self, but I was much more delighted this time around, and I felt like it deserved way more than a 1.
Hmm.
And also, thank you, listeners, for voting on this movie, because I honestly wouldn't have seen it again probably
Yeah.
ever in my life.
Right.
This wasn't even on one of our lists. I hadn't thought about it, and it was delightful, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, listeners. I give it a 4.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a climb.
A big climb.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
you.
I thought
I think
about
we
giving
should
it a
all-
3.5, but
Hey, whatever you're feeling.
you know what? We're feeling appreciative. So
I just want to say
there
that
it
I
is.
think we should all take a moment to sympathize with our 8th grade selves.
Yeah.
Rough
In
time.
8th grade,
It's a
I
rough
had
time.
one friend,
Uh-huh.
and I spent a lot of time just like sniffing the sewer grate behind the band room.
What?
I'm sorry.
What?
What?
Just be like,
What?
that's gross.
What?
Right?
But like sniffing, like, would you tell
Wonder
someone
why
you
you
were
had
doing
one
it?
friend.
This is our most revealing episode ever.
What do you mean?
What?
Would you tell someone like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna sniff the grate," ha ha ha, or would you just
No,
do
we
it?
would just, you just wander around at recess or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so we would go behind the band room where there was just like a manhole cover grate that went to
Sure.
the sewer.
Yeah.
Just hang out there and be like, this smells gross.
Uh-huh.
And just, be thrilled by that.
Wow.
And where is
Shout out
that
to
friend
Matt
today?
something. Don't remember his last name.
Rabbit.
Great.
Might have-
Yeah,
Matt
Matt
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
That rabbit.
Then first day in 9th grade, didn't
Mhm.
see him much that summer. First day in 9th grade, he said he was going to go back to the behind the school and smoke cigarettes and didn't want to come. And then we never spoke again. Probably.
Oh,
Or at least never
wow!
hung out.
Brought the
Wow.
hammer
Was he
down.
riding on the back of a trolley?
Yeah, he rode the trolley through my suburban town.
Nice. And you were just
Hey,
like,
I want to smoke cigarettes and play ball with the other kids.
You were like, oh.
geez, Daniel.
Maddie, we used to smell sewers together. What happened?
You want to ride around a sand track and try to win your mom's life back? Because this is
Whoa.
Star Wars.
Oh, thank you. It took me a second. Oh my god. I was trying to figure out, like, was Dan into dirt bikes when he was a kid? What are we talking about?
Too dangerous.
Yeah, right. Like the cigarette of bikes.
Well,
We respect you, listeners.
And we're sorry.
Sympathize with your 8th grade selves.
guide yourself. Cool it.
Cool it.
Creeps go to jail.
You go to jail.
Joe Prado.
Cartoons
Brownie
can't have sexual
Transportation.
intercourse.
Molly, my parents are divorced.
My parents are also divorced. Send us pet pictures.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Anything
it.
else? Beth, you're the producer.
That's all, folks.
Oh,
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.